Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So my 10th guest just canceled on me. If you're familiar with the Airbnb platform, you know that becoming a super host essentially helps you stand out from a lot of people in the market because it signals to a bunch of people trying to rent that you spend a lot of time and care in the hospitality and service that you're going to be providing. So essentially, my 10th guest just canceled on me, and I needed my 10th review to become a super host on the Airbnb platform. So the way it works is a person has to average at least a 4.8 star review on the platform with at least 10 different guest stays, or I think 20 or 50 nights worth of stays, something like around those numbers. So essentially they want to vet and make sure a lot of different people has experienced being at your place. And then the second thing is your response rate. So keeping at least 90% response rate. And I think they measure that by how long it takes you to respond to people over the course of a day. So if you're responding within 24 hours, I think that keeps you at that 100%, 90+% response rate. The next thing on the list is maintaining a low cancellation rate. So that means you're not canceling on your guests. Essentially, what this means is if anything does come up or happens, you do the best that you can to figure out how to accommodate the people that are supposed to be coming to your place. Or you find out how to reimburse them for their trip to make sure their cancellation does not affect what they have going on as well. So I pretty much covered the 4 things on that list. So why does this matter? Again, I said my 10th guest just canceled on me. I had 9 reviews on the platform and I was really close to getting Superhost, but this guest canceled. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what happened. So this lady lands in Chicago. She is here around like 11 a.m. Check-in for any Airbnb that I manage especially is 3 p.m. or I've heard, essentially because you are basically checking in for the night, right? Essentially that's how hotels work, but Airbnb is a little bit more lenient because it's a person-to-person relationship. So, you know, essentially you just let people check in whenever you kind of feel like it's convenient for you. So this lady came into town early and I was like, okay, welcome to town. Do you need to check in early? Because it seemed like they came to town a little bit earlier. So I was kind of curious if, you know, they could go in there because no one was there anyway. So I basically offered they could go in earlier. So they said, yeah. And I said, okay, go ahead. And they show up and they try to get in. My house is essentially a digital lock. So to get in, you have to punch a key code, which I would give you. And this lady kind of put it in. It wasn't working. And I was kind of confused why it wasn't working. But at the time I was on another call, so I didn't even know she was going through this. I thought it was gonna be a little bit of an easier process because a lot of people don't tend to have too many issues with it. But that's the thing, you know, you never know what types of issues different people are going to run into. So this lady was stuck outside for a little bit and she was using the side door actually of the house. So she wasn't even at the front door. So she chose the wrong door to try the code on. And, you know, I think 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, she texted me, hey, I got in. And I was that's when I saw all the messages and I was like, oh my God, you were struggling to get in. I didn't even know. And she gets in, you know, they're doing their thing. I go off and do my thing. And I received a call. And she essentially is having troubles with the heat in the house. So, you know, the heat in the house, apparently the thermostat just has some issues and it's a little bit buggy and it's not easy for people to, you know, navigate and turn the heat on and, you know, kind of set it. She was messing around with the time and the date versus the actual temperature. So I think she was just having some troubles getting there and she was already pretty frustrated. The grandma especially that was with her was pretty frustrated already being at the house. So she didn't really want to try waiting at all. In the middle of the call when I was trying to help them debug the situation and troubleshoot, you know, how to fix this thermostat, you know, the grandma was like, and also the toilet or the tub upstairs is dripping inside the tub. So you can hear the drip after you take a shower from downstairs. And I was like, okay. See, she was kind of nitpicking a lot of details at that point. So I could tell she was a little bit frustrated with the experience of showing up so far between the door and the heater not working and then the drip that she was experiencing, right? So all these things cascaded and the grandma was like, I would like to cancel, you know, how can I cancel and get out of here? And I was like, oh man, like, I'm so sorry. Like that's so terrible. Like, I was just like, what do I do to help these guys? And, you know, people have used the heater before, so I've never really had any issues with the heat. No one has ever really complained too much about it. So what I ended up doing was I just bought a new thermostat because it seemed like the older one was a little bit complicated. It had too many buttons on there. So I basically got a Wi-Fi controllable thermostat. So whenever I'm away and someone hits me up and has any issues, instead of me trying to help them troubleshoot over the call, I will basically have the knobs on my end so I can just set the heat and try to see what's going on from my side. It'll make management of the house a little bit easier. So Wi-Fi controllable things kind of are magic a little bit. So that was kind of nice. Customer service is a very interesting experience that you're kind of have to navigate, negotiating with people on what's happening, because you're just trying to contribute to them having a good time. I want to contribute to them having a good time, and I want them to contribute to being at the house. So it's an even split. And, I try to bring my A game every time. And even when I don't want to do stuff, I still try to do them because it's my responsibility. So, it's a balance of balancing. And that's what I try to do. So this was just an experience, very interesting one for me. Running into problems and trying to solve them, and then trying to figure out how to avoid said problem ever again in the future. But you can never really avoid them all, but you can sure as well try. There are a lot of things to fix and replace, throughout the house, and I'm, glad that guests will point stuff out. They'll let me know, hey, this is going on, this is something that needs attention, and I'll be right on it because, I care about this property. I'm gonna make sure it's tip-top shape, so that way, if anyone I know or wants to be there is trying to go there, it's in the best condition possible. I don't want some janky house. So this was just something interesting that kind of threw my day into an interesting loop. Now I got a guy coming to fix the thermostat tomorrow, and I got Camille coming to help fix the drip of the water. So, whenever problems come up, just do your best to get on top of it so that way it doesn't linger, because the worst thing is lingering problems that become bigger problems. So anyways, your boy Elijah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like, drop a comment, let me know what you think about, problems and issues that you probably have run into as well. Let's see how to navigate those. Anyway, if you like or enjoy what you see here, make sure you subscribe, stick around, because you don't want to miss anything coming next. Anyways, your boy Elijah, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.